spiritual freedom. The people of God are known by their fruit, not by their dogma nor their doctrines. And I think that most, if not all, organized religions tend toward a whole different set of problems that the non-religious may not struggle with at all. Now let me explain. Christianity is probably the largest religion, with Islam close behind it. Both, of course, took their God concept from Judaism. And we all know these religions use fear and scare tactics to keep you in line. Stuff like eternal hell, reward and punishment, Sharia law, Jewish ceremonial law, etc., etc. And some of them are actually used to acquire and retain followers. Yeah, so what if you don't need keeping in line? All of these tactics cultivate an us versus them mentality that, in my opinion, is no way to ever find real peace. Because peace comes from love, not fear. You hear stuff like, I'm going to heaven, and they're all going to hell. We are God's true children, and they are of the devil. You realize there are hundreds, thousands of denominations within Christianity.
There's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them. Every time there's a move of God, they add several more.
Yeah.
And the whole concept is unity.
Mm-hmm.
However, and they mostly use the same Bible. That's the truth. Yet none of them can agree on anything. Not even the primary essential doctrines. Now that being said, I don't think they can all be right. And that is, if everyone else is wrong. Maybe they all have a touch of truth. But most aren't willing to accept anything outside their established doctrines. So what we have here is closed minds pertaining to alternative information. And I believe that God the Father is going to be less concerned about what we believe and more concerned about what we did with what we believe, and more specifically, our intentions. The Judeo-Christian concept of the Old Testament God is more or less hard for me to buy any longer. That is, after rereading the text again. It says Yahweh is the source of everything, including evil. Think about that. The Old Testament says, I created the good and the evil inclination. These are the things in which I delight. Wow. I also believe the New Testament has given us two wonderful gifts in our way of thinking about and relating to God. The gospel, in a less dogmatic sense, the concept of God dying for the benefit of mankind. I also accept the idea of man being unable to stand in the presence of God without the clergy's assistance, and it makes sense. This is also prevalent in all the pagan mystery religions, which likely had more of an influence on ancient Christianity than Judaism did. And when Martin Luther nailed up his 95 Thesis and started the Lutheran Church, he also put into practice the truth that there is no priesthood where man is concerned. All men are believer priests in the church age with Jesus as high priest in the order of Melchizedek, not Aaron or any other. We go directly to God through Jesus. He is the Savior of the whole world, especially of those who believe. Spirituality is relating to God through experience. There is a place for ritual and dogma, for sure, if you are so inclined. But the bottom line is religion is man's creation. It seems to be a futile attempt to make oneself right with God by obedience. Now I know it's true. Oh yeah, boy do I know it's true. Yeah. And now I know it's true. Every man sins. We have all missed the mark, from the most flashy heathen to the most pious minister. In some cases, a heathen man who appears wretched in his way more righteous than a minister who appears saintly. It could happen. Just because you wash the outside does not mean the inside is clean. And I'm pretty sure that's why Jesus said, do not judge, or you will be judged. And the measure you use, well, it'll be used to measure back to you. Any act I have accused of another, I have on some level been guilty of myself. And when I judge another, I'm just judging myself. I think Paul was onto the key. He wrote the love chapter in 1 Corinthians 13. Love does no harm to his neighbor. Therefore, love is fulfillment of the law. It seems to me that if I do what I want and make sure not to hurt anybody, even help them along the way, I'm living up to the biblical mandate to love God and love others. After all, that's what it's all about. But it takes actions, as they speak louder than words.